Yeah, I mean, I do have a soft spot for ska. I love that band. Um, I've told the stories before about when I used to go to like FYE, which was a major. They're still around, but they don't really sell albums really much anymore. And I found their album Aquabats First, The Floating Eye of Death, I think it was, in FYE, and I kept looking at it because it was just the dumbest looking album I've ever seen. And I finally bought it, and I fucking loved it. And I love that band. I went and saw them, and if you couldn't tell from the music video, they were the ones that created Yo Gabba Gabba, like some of those monsters that are in their music video became people or characters in the Yo Gabba Gabba series. I think that's what you do is like you come out with like a brand and then eventually you evolve into just selling it to parents. Like once you become a parent, I'm sure like ICP has done something like that where they they probably have their own like kids clothing brand and stuff like that. Hey, cock lunch. Um, I wish I fucking still had my Jinko jeans. Um, and my little choker that I wore. Oh man, I would rather listen to ska though than hip hop or rap now. I just I think it's just my growing resentment towards a certain community that just doesn't allow me to enjoy hip hop or rap anymore, unfortunately. Or fortunately, I guess. Um but I'd rather listen to that than like Wu-Tang. I I was listening to no, I never did the puka shell necklace. I wasn't that much of a douchebag, but I did have the frosted tips at one point when I was I think in 8th grade. Dude, I loved Jinko jeans. That was my brand. I had everything was always Jinko jeans. And then I became I got into surfing. And so I started like wearing like all sorts of like surfing stuff. Like I was really into like red sand or Hurley or what was the other ones? I had some like Quicksilver stuff, but I didn't really like Quicksilver. What was the other brand? Oh, Lost. Dude, I was like as like a horny teenager, I loved like the Lost like cartoon hot girls with the fat tits. I had a pair of board shorts that had like a bunch of hot nurses. And I remember like it was very inappropriate for like a 14-year-old to be to wearing that. You had a shark tooth dude, I had a shark tooth necklace. That was fucking badass having like the you'd go to like SeaWorld or you'd go to like some kind of like see I was in Florida, so we had like all of the different places at the alligator place that like sold all sorts of little things. Too bad some modern ska fan would tell you to acknowledge some cane sugar cutting Caribbean spoon, like how some rock and roll fans say you got to thank old Jigaboo Jackson for tying a shoestring. Uh, I don't remember what the conversation was, but I know like half of the conversations I have with my wife are just about black people. I know we had some kind of conversation about rock and roll and like giving credit to the right people. I was in California, so the black kids were mad. I got to go to the theme parks. You know what's really fucking annoying is I spent so much of my time in like high school, like sewing my pants like super tight and being like super punk rock and having like patches all over my DIY jackets and stuff like that. And all the black kids would all fucking call me gay or be like, this is the classic line. I'm sure if you were into punk back then, you probably had people go like, yo, why are your pants so tight? And now look at them. They fucking stole our look. Maybe that's where I was going with that story about my wife and I talking about black people, is like, who really stole it? Because the um actually Jared was talking about hookups with the skate brand with the big tit anime chicks. Lost doesn't exist, I think, anymore, unfortunately. It's crazy. They were like a huge brand. And then I went into like Ron John Surf Shop like a while ago, and I didn't see any Lost stuff. Like Lost is, let me see if I can pull up some of it, because like they didn't really make great surfboards. Um Maybe they still are okay, so they're still around, but I think they like really cut back because they were having problems. But they had like the coolest artwork on their boards, and they had like really cool shirts. I had like really had some really cool button down shirts by Lost. Um but their surfboards had a reputation of breaking easily. But I mean, it really, it's like it's why I got into elementary school brawls with black kids. They were salty. I had the dumb SeaWorld shit on. Yeah, dude, like black kids always fucking wanted to start shit about like my tight pants in high school or whatever. And it's like, now look at every single like rapper, even Lady Gaga, like her fashion designer. If you look at she had like some jacket, some leather jacket. All the fucking rappers and artists got super into like wearing leather jackets that have the uh what do you call it? The patches and the painted on logos like Cro-Mags and like other fucking shit that they probably don't even fucking listen to. It's crazy. And now every black kid wears like tight ass shit. And it really made me think about like who really stole what from who. Yeah, I couldn't find any. I guess I didn't look too hard, but found your. Oh God, Slav sent me a message about my surfboard brand. What's it gonna be? It's gonna be something calling me gay. I know it's gonna be. Um, Jared, did you change your settings to live chat and not top chat? Surf Nazis. Oh, so it's funny actually. So um, Slav sent me a article about surf Nazis, the unsettling link between waves and swastikas. Actually, in so there's a famous movie called Surf Nazis. I think Surf Nazis Must Die, but there was a lot of when I lived in Jacksonville Beach. I mean, I can see like 5 different people talking. When I lived in Jacksonville Beach, there was like there's a very large, well, I don't know if it's still there. Um uh yeah, click click on where it says top chat and click live chat. Um but yeah, there was so in Jacksonville Beach, there was like a heavy outlaw biker gang presence, like outlaw motorcycle club, not like just general outlaw. I mean like the actual outlaw group, and they have pretty good ties to a lot of uh, white movements, and there's a lot of white power movements in Jacksonville, and so there was a lot of white power and neo-Nazi guys that would surf, and there was a guy that there was a surf Nazi group. I forgot the guy's name, but they had like swastikas on their surfboards. And like, you're not going to fuck with somebody out there. Like, I know you didn't fuck with like locals if you were a surfer. This is how fucking vicious I was, because like, especially the surfers and the fishermen at the pier. The fishermen are fucking dickheads, and they'll throw lines out at you because like they get all pissy if you're surfing right next to the pier, and it's like, fuck you, bitch. Like that's where the wave's breaking. And so one time I remember this guy was fucking throwing out like his weights with hooks at people, and I just fucking grabbed his line and I just wrapped it around my hand, and it hurt, but I went and like yanked it from him, and then bit the line with my teeth and snapped his line. And he stopped doing that. But they closed that pier down, and they eventually took the at Cocoa Beach Pier, they stopped letting people fish off the pier, which I'm fine with. Fuck fishermen. I really hate them. Like when I would go to when I would surf in like New Smyrna or Daytona Beach, like there'd be guys like out there like casting with like the big rods like way out there and like catching sharks. And it would really fucking piss me off when like you'd start like casting out where people are surfing and swimming. I don't know why my voice is getting fucked up. I mean, I guess you guys have a right to go out there and fish, but I mean, it's like, why do you have to do it where other people are swimming and doing shit? Like, it's kind of a dickhead thing to do. I've never gotten hit with a hook. I've had friends, I remember like telling me that they got either stepped on a hook or something like that. If that happened to me, I'd be pretty fucking angry and probably would be a real catastrophe, especially when I was a lot wilder back in the old times. I just got back into surfing. Actually, I don't have a great video. Let me see if my wife sent it a while ago. It's not even worth it, but like I'm moving back to the beach, so I'm gonna bring down my my epoxy board. But I've been like they had like some hurricanes come through. They had like 2 hurricanes that were like right next to each other, and I was the only one out there because little background history on me is I used to be a competitive swimmer for about 12 years. So like I'm the only one that goes out there, and still I can still do it, but I'm not nearly as good as like a swimmer as I used to be, and I'm definitely a lot heavier. But I used to be the only one that would go out there during the hurricanes, and I was the only one out there 3 weeks ago. My wife can attest to it, and I was doing something that was not fun, which is surfing with a foam board, which is like what they teach beginners on, and it does not, like, there's a thing called duck diving. And so when it's really rough out there and you've got what they call the breakers, you have to get past like where it's like really breaking heavy on the beach. And sometimes when it's like the hurricane is bad or the storm weather is bad, it's like it's quite a paddle out there. So a lot of times, like often you'll have to like walk way up north of the beach or whichever the pole is, and then just to get to like out and then float out where you've put your stuff, because like it's gonna be a long ass paddle. And the thing that's really difficult is if you got like a big ass board or a foam board, it's kind of hard to do a thing called duck diving, where you grab the board and you plunge yourself down as a wave is coming, and then you pop up the other side. So once I get my board back down here, it'll be a lot easier. And my epoxy board floats pretty good. I used to have a really nice like I'm 6'5", and I like to ride boards that are a little shorter than me. Um, and yeah, I guess you could roll it, but I still you get fucking fucked up in the wave. Um, but I like to ride something a little shorter than me. And I had this really nice quiet flight board that I used to love riding, and I was a lot lighter back then when I'd surf Jack's Beach, and I snapped it in half. But it was on a really good day. It was like glassy. And it was like 10-foot waves breaking off the pier. And I did a right, took the right, and I did like a 360 in the air and then came down and snapped the board in half. But I mean, it was totally worth it, like to be able to do that. But now with like an epoxy board, that thing floats so well. It's have you tried E-skate? No, I don't know what that is. Let me look that up. But the epoxy board kind of floats. Let's see. Oh, I have what's called a what is the fucking board? It's kind of like what you're telling me here, but it's a lot harder to ride. Like you have to have a carve board. I have a carve board. Um, I wouldn't mind getting a board like this though. There was some gnarly hills that um I wouldn't mind like riding on. I'm not the best skateboarder because it was just never really my big thing. If I get into practice, like when I was at my house currently, I used to go and ride down the hill on my carve board. Um, we just got a surf park here in the East Valley in Mesa, Arizona. Galveston never had good enough waves for a skimboard to ride up. Dude, I saw every once in a while when we'd had a hurricane come through, we had waves that were like 4 or 5 feet, just like um curling up, right? Like they were barreling on the beach. And there were guys that were out there that were so fucking good at this. Like they were actually like getting on the skimboard and fucking riding like a shore break wave that was like 4 or 5 feet tall on their fucking skimboard and like doing pretty fucking gnarly stuff. It was sick. I've never been good at a skimboard though. I was looking at you were talking about the surf park. I was literally just looking it up last week. That shit is expensive. I think it's like if you want to do a group, it's like $5,000 to $10,000 a day, and I think it's like 3 to 4. Still here, okay. Damn, why is it still here? Okay. Damn, why does it keep? I don't know why it's saying that I I disconnected. Yeah, I don't know. I have a really shitty internet right now. We're on Wi-Fi out here, and it's not the best. Yeah, there we go. We're back. Just make sure I'm on that one. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with that. Every once in a while, we'll get a hiccup. Might be my stepbrother might be downloading something or using the Wi-Fi. I don't know. He might be hardwired in, but whatever. Anyways, so I was gonna play the rest of this ICP Juggalo thing we were watching last night, which was pretty funny. I like these people because they were the only people that accepted me both times that I came into public school, or at least at the very beginning. Like they were the first people to be friendly to me, and like I always liked the Juggalo kids. They were trashy, but they were funny, and they weren't really like mean spirited ever. Like they were just kind of like fuck it kind of people. And I never really held anything against them. Like people just hate on them for not really an actual reason other than just like being low class or something. I don't know why my fucking Yeah, I don't know why I sound like shit right now. I don't know if that's any better, but I was fucking with my mic settings. Anyways, so I was saying I was gonna watch the rest of this Juggalo thing. I like these guys a lot. I think they're good people for the most part. They're just kind of goofy oddballs. So we've got about 45 minutes left in it, and damn, there's a lot to cover with these guys. I don't even remember where we were at. Like, I know what time we were at, but I don't remember what we were even looking at. And also, unfortunately, it looks like Jared, by the way, big dogged me and said that he doesn't want me on the show anymore with J Talk with Jared. He says I'm no good. I don't contribute anything, and that I'm good for nothing. I'm a Fed. No, I'm just joking. I guess he had gotten some kind of thing with Jose Galloway, which is really cool. He's subscribed to his Patreon, and he was going to try to get both of us on there, but I'm not a subscriber to his Patreon, so I guess he didn't really want to have the duo, which is fine by me. But as I said before or the other day, I guess I'm not going to be on there. So on I don't even know, how are you going to broadcast it? Are you going to put it on your channel or just put it on I guess get it from Jose's Better Off Dead? Is that the podcast, Jared? So I guess look out for Jared being on Jose's show. That'll be cool. He does really good stuff about Waco and OKC. I haven't really been following him for a while. I was subscribed to him, and then all of a sudden I was unsubscribed. I don't know if that was my doing or they unsubbed me from him. But all right, that's enough talking. Let's get back to the clown people.
Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope are derived from us. Of course, Joe and Joey don't go out cutting necks and chopping heads off and dragging bodies around from our car and shit. We're family men. We both have wife and kids and families and shit. I don't believe Shaggy 2 Dope or Violent J really have families because they're too busy murdering people.
His music isn't for moms. The only thing I'm really familiar with is in the beginning, because I've stopped listening now to his music. I used to listen to it all the time.
Is the audio good for you guys? It sounds a little off to me. I think it's just the bandwidth that I'm broadcasting on. It sounds good, but then when they play background stuff, I can't tell if it's just the way I downloaded the documentary or what. So
it scared me because I would wake up with that tune in my mind. Plus, I know Joe Bruce. Violent J is a made-up person. You know, he's different than my son. Joe Bruce is very emotional and loving. Violent J is streetwise and he's crude.
I wasn't scared, I was giddy to do it. Then I lopped his head off and threw it in your face.
The masses just hear, bitch, I'll stab you, you know? But there's so much more underlying.
One of the things that I always thought was
I love that. This is so like, this is another reason I feel for these guys is my mom's not anywhere near this, like as far as like being religious, but it's just so funny when like my wife gets it all the time, or my mom gets it also, is like the two different versions of me. There's like the like the wild piece of shit, and then there's like the one that they don't really like see in personal life. And like I remember my roommate, like when he met my mom, and like he he like he was meeting my mom, and I just started calling him fat, gay, and bald in front of her. And he just was like, "Are you really gonna like talk like that in front of your mom?" And my mom, I think my mom, I convinced her to call him a F word.
True was when you have to make a major decision, your first instinct on it is from God. And then the rest of your doubt is the devil trying to talk you out of it. And I was brought up knowing that there's something bigger than us. You know, it's something more.
Juggalos, they hear it, the messages in the lyrics. Each album gives people a chance to look at themselves in different ways. If our music sounds like endless garbage to you, you're not a juggalo, you're not meant to hear it.
When somebody first handed me an ICP CD, I realized it was starting to answer questions I didn't know I had. What is death? What forever really means? What's going on in the afterlife?
It tells you a way to live your life. You know, treat people with respect. Make sure that you live your life right from wrong. Don't judge people.
I believe it's the one and only holy man, you know? I believe it's God talking to us. And
Senor
everybody,
Jesus.
and we are meant to talk to the juggalos, you know?
Joe told me, we are the transportation to heaven or hell. What you do with it is up to you. If you listen to the message, it's there. But if you just listen to the gruesome, well, that's up to you.
This life is
There's all this violence, but
I could definitely see juggalos saying grace over dinner for sure. Slav. Oh, I meant to tell you guys. So I fucked with my wife, and this right here, my dad's girlfriend got my daughter like a barnyard animal set. My wife's gonna get mad in the chat because I'm telling this story, but oh, come on, why did it cut out? Damn it, why does this thing keep cutting out? Ah, come on. I can see my frame rate like dropped. Damn it. Is it downloading some shit or what? What's going on in the background here? Dude, what the fuck, man? Are you guys still there? Because I can see that like it keeps saying it's dropped. I'm assuming I'm still streaming. It's really, really kind of irritating. I hate that. YouTube is not responding. Why are you being like this? Why are you being like this? Dude, what the fuck is going on with the internet? It says I'm still there. Okay. Yeah, that's a little irritating. But so as I was saying, yeah, my wife doesn't like this probably, but my dad's girlfriend bought my daughter a little barnyard animal like play set. So it's got like a bunch of different animals, and one of them is a little cow. And to fuck with my wife, I told told our daughter, I said, what is this? And she goes, moo cow. And I said, no, it's mommy. And so now whenever I go and ask her what this is, she goes, mommy moo cow. I'm such a little fucker. All right, let's continue with the ICP.
Then there's also these touching songs that are uplifting and trying to guide you toward living a righteous life.
Truth is, happiness is in your own head. How you perceive shit, believe it is.
It's like what a carnival really aspires to be. All these wonders, all these horrors, and also an enlightenment. And it's why they've endured for so long. People are still captivated by what their message is.
The government can probably find 200 juggalos, say, these are all gang members, and I can show you 20,000 that aren't.
These holidays, every kid deserves some toys. Let's give a the kids deserve it, man. The kids!
So I'm assuming the juggalos are doing a thing for kids. This is not okay. So this is not beating the rap. So I used to bounce at this one bar, and then I call you a fat bitch more than 10 times a day. I used to bounce at this one dive bar, and I stopped bouncing there, and I just came by there, and I was out in the back just kind of chilling out, and this guy pulled up, some like little kind of like Hispanic dude, and he was wearing like a Outlaw MC jacket, and I was like, I just walked up to him. I was like, oh, that don't really see you guys much. It's interesting to see you like over here, like wearing your colors over here. And he says, yeah, we're trying to like, branch out here and try to get like over here by like the college and stuff like that. And I was like, damn, dude, this motherfucker must be like fucking drunk or something to be like talking to me like this. I mean, granted, I told him, I used to hang out with like people that were outlaw, and had a friend who was like, his dad was big into it. And he starts telling me about how like, yeah, we're doing like these toy drives and all these like donation things to like improve our public image. And I was like, Jesus Christ, dude, like, I don't know if you should be telling me these things, but that's just what made me think of, that made me think of that, seeing this little Juggalos donation ad.
Juggalos have coat drives, and they donate turkeys during Thanksgiving.
At home, we do canned food drives.
A group of insane Clown Posse fans grabbed some brooms, shovels, and some trash bags and hit the streets of Buffalo to help clean up.
Pure mother magic, right?
Custom-made jerseys worn only once by Violent J and Shaggy 2 Dope.
3,500.
Remember that this helps out a fellow Juggalo, and he's going to be getting a lung transplant.
Hall of Wicked, which is their Halloween concert, if you bring in canned food, they donate it to the charities and they'll give you a free CD. They make sure you can only bring in good canned food. You can't bring in like corn. You gotta bring in like spaghetti-o stuff.
It's not a publicity stunt, It's just something that's right to do.
Nobody ever wants to talk about the good stuff. So they only want the bad stuff's what sells. So
Have your chest out.
Oh, there's a Rimrock, Arizona. Anyone live near Rimrock?
Badass, you ready to fight? All right.
can't do- I
Think
can't
of
do
like
this.
a tough song in your head.
I get called badass
Okay.
every day at school.
Because you are a badass. You ready? It gets though.
I have to do it again. Don't tell me not
Read
to
it.
smile. You can't say don't.
I think if I ever get like enough money where I don't have to work anymore, I think I'm just going to bring back trench coats and I'm just gonna like dress like the guy from Trigun. I'm gonna be one of those like goth kids with the Trigun jacket and the big goofy leather boots with the straps on them.
Smile. Okay, get your smile on. Get your smile on. My room is a explosion of ICP. I'm a collector of ICP memorabilia. I think even if I didn't like the band, I would like their merchandise. It's just really cool. The clowns are awesome. Of course, I've got my Ringmaster blankets, you know, my Zippos. Like this was in the backstage for the wrestling area. That's off of Violent J's shower. It's a very small town. You do tend to get looks when you dress differently than most. Like people you're holding the door open for, they give you just the strangest, what in the world, you know? They're like, oh, that's a nice cocoa pellet. You're like, dude, it's not a cocoa pellet, all right? My hatchet man will stab your cocoa pellet, all right? My name is Sean Wolf, AKA Sly Guy Smooth. I've been a juggalo since I was 16. I have raised my kids that way. They know all about it. Hi, Jade Bug. How was school? That's my Jade Bug. This is my, what are you, 17 now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, by 2 years old, she knew who Violent J and Shaggy were. We had a poster up, be like, oh, well, who's that? That's Violent J, and who's that? That's Shaggy Too Dope.
I'm glad that he's into the same music I would, or else we would be butting heads a lot with how loud we play our music.
Zach's birthday is today, same as Shaggy Two Dopes.
I mean, just however you want, but just people with facial hair that like, it's like this. It's insane that you were able to reproduce. I mean, I guess good for you, but that is so, like, this is so weird that, that facial hair, it's so wispy. It's like a Chinese man's hair.
He just turned 15.
My dad bought me tickets and a VIP pass to the ICP concert tomorrow night. Yes, I'm extremely excited. I can't really express excitement though. I don't know, it's kind of...
How are you, buddy? Not bad, how are you, Dad? Cody.
I think that's called autism. Cockalaunch says you need to show this, he needs to show me this mom that has a hatchet man hearted Walmart employee husband. The reason that I just started thinking about ICP recently was because me and my wife were in the Dunkin' Donuts drive-thru, and there was there was a grandma with a Jeep Cherokee, and on the lower right in the badging, she replaced it with Badass Edition in like chrome, and then in the window she had a big Hatchet Man that like sticker on it. And it was a grandma, like it was a full-on grandma, like just a normal like grandma. Looked like the lady, like looked like Violent J's mom, kind of actually, but a little thinner.
He's my oldest one. He just turned 18. How was school?
Not bad.
Me and Cody's one-time deal after school. I was only 15 at the time. I'm just a stupid kid, young, dumb, full of cum kind of thing, you know? And so she got knocked up. I went over there.
Hold on. Okay. That I started to interpret that story completely different than I think actually what was going on.
One day and she'd moved to California. Just didn't tell me or nothing like that, just took off. When he was about 7, she decided to put him into a boys' home.
Just don't throw it too high.
She just abandoned him, didn't come back and try and visit him or nothing like that, and they actually started trying to work with me to get custody of him.
Dude, that reminds me of this story. My my roommate, before I was living with my wife, he said that he dated like some I think she was Filipina or some kind of Southeast Asian, and she had a daughter, and she told my roommate to go and watch the daughter, and then just fucking ditched the kid and then moved back to like Thailand or Vietnam or the Philippines and lived with her parents, who like took her passport and wouldn't let her leave and made her work on the farm. It was some crazy shit. And so he ended up having to like take care of this kid that wasn't his at all, out of nowhere. And I think she finally came back, but like that's a fucking insane thing to do.
I want my kids. You know, I was raised without a dad, and I would never do that to my kids. Somewhere after about a year, they finally sent somebody out here to come and like inspect your home and make sure it's livable for them. We invited this lady into our house, you know. You see my living room and stuff, it has nothing to do with ICP. It's totally family orientated. Once I brought her into my room and she saw, you know, all of this, and it was a bit overwhelming for her, I think. They flat out told me, no, we're not gonna give you custody of your kid. I mean, my heart just dropped to the floor, you know? And then they told me why I would portray possible gang affiliations.
It really is crazy. Like, the fact that people will end up taking people's kids away so that they can go and be raised in like foster homes, which are just basically like a rape exchange for like pedophiles and shit. There's some, I don't even know if I'd even want to fucking put it on here, but like I've seen some really sick shit on YouTube where like, especially like lesbian couples that like will adopt kids. And though there was one that was really, really bad. I think it was also in Arizona, like this place. And they had literally had the kids locked in to the rooms with like padlocks in there. And they had one like living out in a shed outside of the house. And they had some kind of device on there. I think they had like a some kind of like thing to alert them if they had like opened up the room or broke the lock or something like that. It was really sick shit, dude. Like I really don't think that same-sex people should be adopting kids. Like it's really there's way too many bad incidents from that.
Man, it's just a straight kick in the nuts, you know. I really don't even know how to describe that besides flat out, man, you put me on the ground and beat the hell out of me. I'd much rather have that than someone denying me my kid.
For most of my life, I mainly felt like I was.
And like the other thing too is I have experience from just seeing the results of like, I used to date this, I've spoken about her a few times. And I used to date this Haitian chick, and she was telling me about like she came over here from Haiti after like the earthquake, and she was telling me about like the foster care system, and like she had like a really rough life, and they basically like it's just a like complete rape factory. These people are fucking disgusting. Most of the people that take kids in, I knew like people in church that were like really good people that would like take in, you know, disabled people or disabled kids. But I mean, that's such a few amount. Like, just imagine how few good people you know in your life, and then think about how few of them would adopt a kid. And then think about how many other people are out there just like getting a handout from the government to go and raise kids. Like it's yeah, my wife is pretty brave for being around me, even for other reasons, I guess. But yeah, dude, like the foster care system is so fucking brutal. And then I started hearing recently, in like the last 2 years, about how like Chinese nationals and Chinese companies were running adoption agencies, which is really fucking crazy.
Alone. There's no one I could talk to, not even therapists. And I've been in group homes pretty much since I was 6, and my one shot at getting out was him. And it was all just vanished as soon as they said that he couldn't have it, all because of some ICP thing. A group home is pretty much where kids go who have been labeled all these labels like ADHD, PTSD, little kids to 18. In a way, it's kind of like a leeway juvenile place. Due to some of it, I don't think I was able to mature.
Who, dude, okay, I got to go back to that. Where is that? Right. Am I the only one that had shirts like this when you were in like middle school? I was all about those fucking like dragons and shit, dude. Fucking flames. Dude, I loved flames on like a silk shirt.
Due to some of it, I don't think I was able to mature as quickly as a lot of other people, such as my sister, who's always been around a family member or has always had someone there whenever she needed to talk.
You know, people are talking about, well, why don't you just get rid of the ICP stuff? The ICP is not the problem. As it is now, he just turned 18. I personally never got custody of him.
Flip up a burger.
As we come around, I mean, we got our VIP Fagos. And the vest that I'm wearing is actually Violent J's vest that he wore. Hello? Hey, man. Yeah, I'm doing an interview right now, man. Let me call you back. What? So my friend Kyle just called up and said that the ICP show in Mesa just got canceled. This is my kids' first ICP show. That's crushing.
That looks like every one of my my friends in like middle school. That reminds me so much of this kid Mike that I like was my first friend in like 7th grade when I went into public school. He just did not give a fuck. He was already smoking weed, and like the teachers would try to get him to do things, and he was amazing at not doing anything. It was really quite a talent, but just like going, especially in gym class, man, we had some brutal gym teachers back then because like there was no like social media or people recording, so we had like a drill sergeant black guy and this one like guy named Rigglemeyer who was is like the other gym coach, and then we had another like straight out of like a TV show, like lesbian. She looked like, what's that? Is it not Parks and Rec? What's that famous lesbian chick that is that like played like a gym coach? She literally looked just like her. And dude, that black guy, the drill sergeant, used to get so mad at Mike, and Mike would just not give a fuck. He was just a fat fuck and did not give a shit. Like he was smoking weed at like fucking 11 years old and did not give one fuck about like what this guy had to say. And he would, the drill sergeant gym coach would like call you a fag. Like, oh man, one of my favorite memories in that gym class was like there was this little skinny black kid that showed up like halfway in the year, and he was like a wild animal. He was like Donnie from the Wild Thornberries. And no, I'm not kidding. That guy's name was really Rigglemeyer. We would call him Wriggle Dick. And but there was this black kid that was like really like wily, and he looked like a black version of Donnie from the Wild Thornberries. And dude, it was the funniest thing one of the funniest things I've ever seen, where he just came out well, everybody was out there like lined up because we had an entire like gymnasium of all the different classes. And everyone was sitting there and getting counted and all that stuff. And then this kid just runs out like just the blackest kid you ever saw, and just runs out there in like little whitey tighties and just starts causing it was like seeing a pig covered in oil, like people trying to catch like a pig covered in oil, because he just kept fucking running all over the gym, and all the kids were laughing so fucking hard, and you're just watching these 3 grown adults trying to catch this just like crazy ass little fast black kid. And then he eventually just got caught because he ran into the girls' locker room, and they finally like cornered him. But goddamn, dude, there's nothing funnier than like a little autistic black kid. They're so far and few between.
Right now, we have no idea why yet.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'm actually calling about the ICP show tomorrow. I heard it got canceled. Is that correct?
Yes, it has been canceled. We were only told that because of logistical issues. We're not told why.
All right. Thank you much.
Bye.
That's not very fair.
Maybe they can use our tickets for the Tucson show and get a hold of the promoter or something. You know, Fuzzy, I know. Oh, I can get a hold of Fuzzy.
Yeah, I have no idea who that is.
What specifically are your concerns about a group like this coming here?
Violence. The concert is called Shock Fest, and one of the headlining bands is the Insane Clown Posse, which...
Am I just high? What the fuck is going on with these people's faces? The one right there looks like a demon. Am I fucking out of my mind? Are you guys seeing this? This woman on the left looks like a fucking demon. Like she makes Laura Loomer look fucking human.
is known for its fans, the Juggalos, a group designated as a gang by the FBI.
People get most of their information about street gangs from the media. We're hardwired to pay attention to threat. And so the media uses that to get audience share. So they have an agenda to find the most sensationalistic stories.
Cock Launch in the chat said he had a similar incident with a white kid that ran out between the whole dodgeball tournament and yelled, "Hold your fire." Dude, I loved kids that were like just a problem. I was a problem, but like I was never that big of a problem. Like I had a little bit of like, I held back a little bit, but I was definitely a problem in school. Like I really caused a lot of headaches for people. And the I will say that the Insane Clown Posse does not actually really help themselves. Like they really do seem to be like nice, genuine people, a lot of them, but like they can't really not expect people to like see everything that they're doing. I guess if someone explained to them that they were like more of like a rap version of Kiss, that might get people to understand that like a lot of it is just kind of tongue in cheek or goofy. But like if you're just somebody's grandma that walked in, or some stupid square that has no idea who these people are, you would not be blamed for thinking that maybe like, yeah, maybe there's something that maybe there's something not good about singing about murder and rape and and running around with hatchets.
To tell about the street gangs.
A look at the Juggalos and the danger they present to northern Nevada.
Come October 8th, 3,000 of them will be admitted inside of these doors.
According to one city councilman, violence is a concern. We have too much violence in Fort Myers as it is. Why do we want to add to it?
In an email, he wrote, "I Googled juggalos and did not like what I saw."
And because this is a city facility, the city council could decide to cancel the concert altogether.
We found a spot in Kaiser, Missouri for the gathering. The camp owners, they knew exactly what the juggalos were. I didn't hold anything back.
And mind you, Kaiser is where the Hells Angels have held their national biker rally. And it's like, okay, so Hells Angels are welcome, no problem.
The media caught wind of it. It was generating all this fear.
And so you have all these people in Kaiser, you know, they're just reading the headlines, and they see juggalos, gang. Just those two words side by side.
The townsfolk were actually calling the camp owners and saying they were arming themselves, getting ready for the gang to come in. Like they thought juggalos were gonna come storming in there and start destroying, like roaming the streets at night, causing destruction and havoc or something. The campground owners pulled the plug on the whole thing, and we were left without a gathering grounds.
We were crushed. I mean, we absolutely were crushed.
Since juggalos are first labeled as a gang, more and more the gathering suffered. You know, like last year, we ended up losing a lot.
We lost a great deal of money, I believe something along the lines of $700,000.
I've heard that like a lot of these big events, like they're just a money pit. I don't understand why people do them, but like hats off to them for giving the fans something. I would say they're probably one of like the only groups that I can think of that actually like really genuinely care about their fans and like want to give back to them. Cause like imagine putting on something like this and the liability, especially knowing that fan base of like what you're getting. That's a fucking genuinely good thing that they're doing.
It was reported on the news that we couldn't pay all the vendors and we were having financial problems. You know, we're not a multi-billion-dollar company, you know.
Right, that's not like Pepsi's money that lost. That's not Doritos. There is no corporate sponsor to the gathering. That's fresh out of his pocket and my pocket.
If the gathering tanks, we lose our ass.
You don't know what's going to happen at the gathering. Is it going to get raided? You know, everybody's talking about it. I don't believe it'll ever happen, but, you know, I wouldn't want it to happen, and it very much could.
Retailers,